2024 estate and gift tax changes and some critical deadlines on the horizon. So let's jump right in. These numbers are big. And you might think, well, Mark, these don't really apply to me, but I'll tell you why they might be more important to you than you might think. In 2023, the estate tax exemption was $12.92 million per person. That meant that you could pass up to $12.92 million to your kids without any exposure to the estate tax. Any dollar over that limit was taxed or is taxed at a 40% rate. So it's a very punishing tax, but only if you exceed that limit. It's only on dollars over the limit. 2024, this was indexed with inflation, so it went up to $13.61 million per person. So it actually went up this year. So you can actually give between a couple over $27 million to your kids in gifts or bequests without a penny of estate tax exposure. Now, if you're over that, you have the 40% tax on all dollars exceeding that. The annual gift exemption, a lot of people get confused about these two numbers. This is how much you can give away every year without even reporting it to the IRS. And that was $17,000 a person in 2023. In 2024, it's $18,000 a person. It also went up with inflation. So again, these are big numbers, 12.92 million, 13.6 million. What deal? You could be pretty high net worth, especially as a couple, and still not have to really worry about this. Well, first of all, I'd say if you're over this limit or approaching this limit now, you definitely need to worry. And if you're over it now, talk to us. We can help you. We got to do some planning right away. But let's say that you're not at these limits and you're significantly below them. And you're like, why would I worry about estate taxes? Well, here's why you have to worry. There's a cliff coming. We talked a lot about how the future is uncertain. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, but this looks very, very likely. There is a cliff. And January 1st, 2026, barring a major change in law before then, the estate tax exemption, the amount that you can pass tax-free, is going to drop by 50%. It is currently indexed with inflation to $10 million per person. It will become indexed with inflation to $5 million per person. So with inflation, it will probably be around $7 million per person. So, okay, that's still a big number, right? But maybe not as big as you think, depending on where you are. And you need to be aware of this deadline because there's a lot that we can do ahead of that time to protect quite literally millions and millions of dollars. And if you don't act before then the law changes, you're screwed. Once it's lost, you can't get it back. So let's just talk about who needs to be worried about the estate tax deadline. If you are single and you have a net worth of $5 million or so or more, you need to worry. And if you're a couple and you have a net worth of around 10 million or more, you need to worry. And I get these are still big numbers. Maybe you're out there, maybe it's just not an issue. But keep in mind, your estate is made up of more than you might think. All the equity in your home. If you own a home in coastal California, parts of San Diego, Orange County, Los Angeles, the Bay Area, Marin, the home alone might get you close to that 5 million if you owned it for a long time, or if you have a normal single family home. Property values are still rising every year. Your estate's probably going to grow as the exemption shrinks. Let's hope that the stock market, the economy stays strong. But the stock market had a great year last year. It was up significantly. The year before that wasn't so good. But over time, the stock market tends to go up. So if you are close to these limits, this could be a big issue. And there are millions and millions of dollars at stake. What are some of the steps that we need to take? There are so many, I would say. So first of all, this is not intended to be complete. But Mike, why don't you just talk about some of the techniques and some of the issues that you need to be aware of if you're facing this and what we can do about it before that deadline?
Sure. And I think, the 2 points to emphasize are, number one, the cliff is very real. Planning opportunities will disappear on January 1, 2026. So those with larger estates, you really have to think about this and you really have to tackle it. Millions of dollars are at stake. Okay. The other point that's a preliminary for those with larger estates is that there are so many things we can do to use what's called discounting, to reduce the value of your estate in the context of estate and gift plan. So if we have a situation where, let's say, if you can pass along 27 million before the cliff with good planning, with discounting, with utilizing entities and fractional shares and other things, it's really 30 to 35 million that can be passed along. And we have a number of clients who are seeing us about this, and it's very real, removing it from the estate before the problems emerge. So it's powerful what we can do. Now, there's something called a SLAT. It's the second bullet point here. It's not the only thing you can do, but this is a way in which one spouse can take about $13.6 million and put it into a trust for the other spouse. And that $13.6 million is forever removed from the taxable estates of both. It's there for the other spouse, keep in mind. And then when they pass, it really goes into dynasty trusts. We always use dynasty trusts for the benefit of the kids. So again, the SLAT is a way of taking advantage, not the only way, is one of the ways of taking advantage of this opportunity, one spouse for the benefit of the other. You can also fund these dynasty trusts for your kids right now, using this up to this limit, removing that money from your estate forever, and you've saved a fortune by doing so.
And it's just to point out, it's use it or lose it. So I think Mike alluded to this, but you can't give away 50% of the exemption in 2025, and then it goes down by 50% and say, oh, wait, I didn't use 50%. I still have that left, right? The IRS doesn't care what you still had left last year. All that matters is how much you gave away compared to the current limit. So if you gave away 7 million in 2025, you had 7 million left. 2026 drops, you lost it all. So you have nothing else you can give tax-free. So use it or lose it. The deadline is upcoming. We'll get back to the techniques. And this is just a very surface level summary of the techniques we can use. But sorry, Mike, any other thoughts?
Gee, there's so many. In our book, I have a chapter in the book, chapter 11, that summarizes not all, but most of the techniques that we utilize to dramatically put tax planning on supercharges. We use fractional share discounts. Let me give the simplest example there. Again, don't do it at home. It has to be integrated with the dynasty trust planning for the kids and grandkids. If somebody owns a house worth $1 million and you give it away to your kid, you made a gift worth $1 million and you've used up $1 million of your lifetime credit. Okay, not a terrible idea. You get the asset out of your estate, let it grow in your kid's estate. But if you instead give a 90% interest, that interest for tax reporting purposes is not $900,000, even though mathematically it is. And the reason is that the new owner of a 90% interest, perhaps your kid or a dynasty trust, they can't sell the property without you. They can't get a loan. They're limited in what they can do with that asset. And the IRS accepts that because it's right. It's legitimate. So the question then is, how big of a discount can we take? Let's say it's a 30% discount. That means that instead of reporting a $900,000 gift by that transaction, you'd be reporting a $600,000 gift, making $300,000 of the estate disappear for estate and gift tax planning purposes. So you can see higher numbers, how powerful that can be. We can use that concept when we have entities like partnerships and LLCs. It's on and on. It's a matter of, again, integrating things and making sure that they're done on a multi-generational basis, because it's usually about the grandkids, right? Usually it's about saving things for the grandkids.
That's actually an interesting factoid I read recently, that the average age that people inherit from their parents is 60 years old. So really, when we do this multi-generational planning, it's the grandkids that get the biggest benefit. It's usually much later in your kids' lives. But if you have issues or questions about this, talk to us. Right? Reach out to us, gilfix.com. Our book, Beat Estate Tax Forever, that Mike authored, is available for $25 on Amazon. We also give copies to our clients. So of course, if you have questions about this, talk to us. Let's set a meeting. We are already getting a lot of clients setting meetings in 2025 ahead of time, because I can guarantee you we are going to be crazy busy then. So don't wait to the last minute. You need to address these issues ahead of time. So very easy to find us. Subscribe to our Gilfix Law YouTube channel for more videos. But we of course welcome you, if you're not already a client, to join our client community. Easy to find us, 650-493-8070, gilfix.com /contact, or a number of ways to find us there. Thank you for spending time with us. We know time is so valuable. Attention is so valuable. It is a scary world out there, but I hope you and your family, as my mom likes to say, are staying safe, sane, and healthy. And thank you so much for spending some time with us today. We'll see you next time.